Hi guys, okay, so those of you that are familiar with the channel are probably sick to the back teeth of me banging on about these multi-tools. I never stop going on about them. Now, I thought I'd put my money where my mouth is and see how much of my bike I can disassemble and reassemble using just one of these tools. I haven't got into suspension, depending on the success of today. Maybe that's another video, but I thought it should be pretty good fun. I hope you like it. I hope I haven't irked too many bike shop owners as I show just how much you can do with the very basics. So let's see how we get on. Okay, so my process, I think, is I'm going to start at the front of the bike and just move my way back. So I'm going to take the forks out, clean them in there, cranks, hopefully get most of the linkage apart, see how we go with that one. Hopefully, yeah, take the whole rear end apart, but we're gonna see how we go. How far do you guys think I'm gonna get? I'm thinking I'll be able to get most of it apart. My only worry is when you need two tools to work against each other. But I think it'll be quite interesting. So to complement the multi-tool, which I think is a bike-specific tool, I've also got some grease, which is necessary for reassembling, some blue towel, a microfiber cloth in case I'm feeling generous and want to give anything a bit of a polish, as well as some things that are kind of stepping into the more luxury side. Basically, I've just got some things if I need to kind of give things a thorough wipe down, degrease, etc., or maybe just inhibit, or I need to inhibit any corrosion. I've got that sort of stuff, but I think that's more of a luxury than anything. I've also got a set of gloves just to stop carting any muck and grime about the house. Well, before I get into it, I'm going to give you a good look at the multi-tool. This is what we're dealing with, so yeah, you can make up your mind about how well you think I'm going to get on. But without much further ado, I think we should get into it. So, I've got my 6mm, and the first part is disassembled, so first victory is done. So I'm just starting off. What I'm going to do is I'm going to back that out mostly, but not all the way. The reason I want to do that is when I come back with these two bolts here, which I will do, and that's where a ratchet tool is so good. I always go on about it. It's about time I actually put my money where my mouth is. Actually did something with it. So the reason I've done that, made it nice and loose, is that you can thread it out with your fingers. There we go. I'm just going to slide that top bit off. Hopefully spacers aren't going to go everywhere. Gently lower that down. Now this is where having the front brake disconnected is really useful because, well, it can come straight out, okay? So I'm going to give this a good wipe down and then we're going to move on to another part of the bike. A bit of alcohol there just to get off most of the dirt. So there are all my bits. Give them a real quick wipe down and inspect. And remove. A lot of the time the noise coming from the front of your bike is because there's small bits of grit and grime that are being crushed between these spaces over and over again. So mechanically the headset can be completely sound, but sadly it makes it feel like you're being chased down the stairs by a bag of spanners. Okay, so that's the fork out the bike. I think the next thing we're going to go to is the cranks, okay? I'm just going to move that around. So, you might have a set that's a pinch bolt. I think for some ones like these, where the torque is actually, in the human category as opposed to the Herculean category, mere mortals could get these ones undone with just an Allen key. There are some, it's like some GXP or SRAM ones, where to get it binding up against that self-extracting bolt, it does require quite a large amount of torque. Now, there's nothing wrong with those systems that do use a self-extracting bolt, but it probably is the limitation of a smaller hand tool. You need some big old levers then. And, as I drop that, these probably, it's asking a lot to put that amount of torque through kind of a smaller ratchet system, okay? So be sensible, don't just go crazy, don't drop your bike parts, and yeah, off you go. So for this next bit, getting this crank off, you're doing maybe a small hammer, which I don't have, so I'm just gonna go for the case. I don't know if that's gonna be enough. Let's see. Yes! I never doubted it for a second. That is the second area worked through. Just need to give that a quick wipe down. And then we are on to the back of the bike. And this is where things will start to get, a little bit interesting. I'm gonna get that chain off. I might use maybe like a shoelace or something on the quick link. I don't know if you guys ever seen that. You can pull them together and that will engage it, and then you can take the chain apart, because having that chain off will help me. Right, so get this wheel out and then we'll have another think. So getting the rear wheel out. This one doesn't have a quick release lever, so it's time for the multi-tool again. I'm gonna take the brake caliper off. I'm gonna take this off and I'm gonna let them hang through. I'm gonna cut them. I can put some new cable ties on later. And then the rear end is free as a bird. I think, in fact, if I actually disconnect that piece of hardware there, I could slide the chain out, so I wouldn't even need a tool for the chain. So that is my thinking. We're gonna get this off, get that off, and then just pull everything apart. I feel good. Just gonna let that hang. Then the shock. So just gonna lift up the rear end to get this bolt out. Oh, the bottle needs to come as well. Okay, so I've got the shock out. Now, if you use a Nukeproof of recent years, they have these little bearing covers, which is great. It's a really good system, but these things really can go walkies, okay? So make sure you don't lose them, put them somewhere safe. If you're in a dark room or you've got slatted floor, you will never see them again. They'll probably be the mountain bike equivalent of Lord Lucan, okay? So we don't want that. So removing this main pivot here, the bike is probably gonna go a bit slack. So what can be good when you're removing, taking apart the rear ends of bikes, is you can loosen the bolts. You can pull it straight out if you need to, but just to stop your bike disintegrating, just leave it in there, just for a bit of security, okay? That main pivot is loose, and I want to get the chain out, but it actually can't come through there. It's got to go through here. Now, this, I think, isn't going to work, but it might. It depends if they're both 4 mils. That's a 4 mil, and please tell me this is a 3. No, it's a 4! Right, the dream might be compromised slightly, but we're going to see what we can do. See if I can get that to bind up maybe. No, it's happy as Larry in there. I need 2 4 mils. Oh no! Oh my goodness! I can't believe it! I never knew my thumbs were so strong or so grippy. Bam! Who needs Allen keys? Can I disassemble a whole bike with just my thumbs? That's the question. Right, time to see if Iron Thumb Quinny can do it again. Oh, and he's done it again! The crowd goes wild. Oh my god, I'm stoked. Well, I thought the party was over. But, back on the road, absolutely stoked. Right, let's get this chain off. That's what we're doing. Chain is coming off. Okay, so that hardware piece is coming out. Can be a good idea as well, just to put them together like I've done just there, okay? Because then you know what order they're in. Hopefully, oh yes. Oh no, washers everywhere, but that's okay. Because I got my man, look at that. Yes. That's just gonna live on the floor. So now that's done, and I know this part is completely separate, tease out this big old bolt. Washers are going to come out. There we go, and just wiggle that back end off. There we go. We're on the next piece here. This is a big one, okay? So, some linkages, now modern days, they're really well hidden, they look amazing. But sometimes, taking them apart, you just have to think a bit more, okay? Because these bolts are actually coming. See that? It comes from the inside. They kind of, they have opposite thread to come into it, okay? So, that's that one. I know it's going to disintegrate in front of me, but I can't really do much about that now because I need to get the other one. And here comes the other one, which I can then bring around. It's like, you know, that game with the wire and you've got to take it over and it buzzes. It's a bit like that. But that is another big piece of frame come apart courtesy of the Multitool. Pop that down just there, don't want to get too much muck on the carpet. Well, they're spinning very smooth. They look, I mean, they don't look great. They look like, you know, they've been corroded along with the Titanic, but operationally they feel fine. Now, the final piece. I'm a bit worried here because I remember I did this lever quite short to get it really neat. And I remember it being really tight. And even having enough space to poke it out the bottom, I thought, I shortened it a bit and I thought next time I take this dropper out, I'm gonna have to, you know, go right back to basics. Is there enough room? There is enough room! Oh my God. Pull that out. Kabam! Forget about that bit. There's nothing I can do. Is what it is. But look at this bit. Ooh la la. Right. Now let's get an arty-farty shot and we all laid it out so I can be proud as punch. And then we shall put it back together. So I'm going to start with the seat post. I'm just putting a tiny little bit of grease in there. Some people don't like to grease it. I think it's absolutely fine, and I think I've got a metal seat post in there. It basically protects that. There we go. And we can get it back in the bike stand, which is good news. Right, now as for tactics this time around, I think I'm just going to try and do it in reverse of what I did. So I'm going to get the rear end back together as best I can. Fresh grease everywhere, you know. I spun all the bearings. It's really important that you want to kind of give your bearings. Often they will still have grease in there, so you want the ball bearings to get into that grease. So give it full rotations. If you can make up a little bit of a botch, but you can kind of make up a little head for your drill with just some tape or something over an old bit and just spin it gently. You don't need to be wearing it out, but just to get all those bearings through the grease again. And that will really, you'll be surprised how long you can elongate the life of a bearing by, you know, turning it every now and then. Sounds silly, but it's a good tip. Sweet, so you can use assembly grease behind caps such as this on linkage systems because it will give you the third hand, which you obviously don't have. And they will rest later on just on there. So the answer is yes, you can do a lot with just a multi-tool. I mean, I didn't get involved with these ones here because they're really high torque and you needed 2 Allen keys to do it. But I think we did most stuff, to be fair. You know, maybe not inside the suspension, but I think apart from that, honestly, I'm really impressed. And my bike is now ready to rip. So guys, if you like the content, please get in the comments below. What do you think? What do you think was your surprise? For me, biggest surprise was getting the whole linkage apart. I didn't think I was going to be able to do that. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Thank you, everyone.